All right there. Now let's see how to use this Power Automate to actually make some HTTP request to our API that we created. Okay. So the first thing is the particular method we need to give here. Okay. So actually we want to post a request this time. Okay. Because with Power Automate, in order to transfer in the parameters, you will need to post the request. Okay. So I'm going to select here the method as post, and then it will ask you to enter the URL. Now this URL is same what we entered in this postman over here. If you don't know this particular function URL, just for those I'm showing it, you will have to go to your Azure portal, go to functions, go to the completion API. It will get open. You will get this function URL. Just copy this, okay? And the same thing, you're going to paste it over here. Okay, so this is how you will get the function URL if you don't have it as of now. So once you have put that inside the URL part, then we need to go in for the request body. Okay, so over here I click on this body here. Okay, and this will again be the same JSON text that specifies the model, the prompt, the max token and temperature. So I'll go back to my postman. I have that details over here. I am copying that and pasting it over here. Now let's say I am going to change this. Okay, we can give in some different prompt. I'm going to give here, say, give me structure for course on, let's say, Python programming. Okay, number of tokens, let's say I'm giving 300, rest everything remains the same. Perfect. So there we go. Now after we make this particular request, we can actually need the output. Okay, need to output basically the request somewhere. Okay, so over here we don't have a place to do it, because again this is a section in just, to just make sure that you learn the integration part. But we can actually create a real life app. We learn how, then we can transfer this information into, let's say, an email, or put this into a Teams chat or to Twitter or whatever applications you want to create. But right now we will just create a variable. So the next step over here is I will be creating a variable. Okay, so I am going to click on a new step, and now here I am going to search in a variable, and this is what a variable is. So we'll need to initialize the variable. Okay, so here let's say we call this as output underscore where. Okay, and we will make this of type string. So we'll also make the value of this variable over here, which is output, equal to, let's say, the output here. So do we have that? Okay, 1 second, let me just check. I have added a dynamic content. Okay, and okay, so here the value will be the equal to body. Okay, what here we have already given inside the part of the body text. Okay, so at this particular point, basically you need to be aware of how to use the basic Power Automate, because this course is not going to teach you the basics of Power Automate, but will just make you familiar with Power Automate, certain applications, how to use it into that. We'll only be teaching you how to integrate the API or the ChatGPT API which we created with this Power Automate. Okay, so that you can just open this ChatGPT to any application you want it in. So now let's go ahead, and first of all, after we have done this, I'll click on save here. Okay, so it is saving. Okay, I'll just need to wait for a moment till it's completely saved. Okay, click on this. Okay, I'll go for a 90-day trial. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, so now I have moved on to we can say a licensed paid version. Okay, so now I am not getting any error over here. So if in your case, once you click on save, you're getting some kind of an error, which means you need to just check if the free trial is enabled, or if it is expired, then you will have to go and get a paid license for that. Okay, so now I have saved this successfully. Okay, now let's just go to my flows again here. Okay, let's say I am selecting this. Okay, you can go to edit here, and I click on test, I click on manual. Okay, since we had selected manual, I am clicking on this. Okay, and then finally I click on run the flow. Okay, and once this is done, okay, done, you can see that it has executed, successfully completed. So it has triggered this particular job. Okay, now it's then like done, the HTTP request has been sent. Okay, and you can just see the inputs and outputs. Okay, so it is basically creating a variable called output that is, equal to the output of the HTTP request. Okay, now we basically created a very, very quick, form of how to know or use Power Automate flow using the Chat GPT. Now, just let's go back and we create another flow. Okay, so we go ahead for create. But instead of just creating a very simple manual flow and just put in there some input and taking back some output, let's do some more creative with it. Okay, and instead of we'll say sometimes where we need to create a chatbot, for example. So let's try and integrate Teams over here. Okay, and in Teams we can basically create a flow. Okay, that you have basically, just go there, manually click a particular button, you can make some requests through Power Automate, and then get some output somewhere. So this was the initial step that we did. Okay, now in the next video we'll create a basically simple chatbot in the Teams, and we'll try to automate that with this Power Automate. Okay, so stay tuned for the next video.